Welcome to this class. Today we're going to be looking at basic photo editing. We're going to be looking at how to take pictures from looking like this to looking like this. You'll be looking at a lot of pictures online and you'll be wondering, how do they take pictures from looking this dull and making it pop and making it look very, very fantastic and good looking? That is exactly what we're going to be looking at today. So I'm going to be showing you how to make your pictures, look fantastic with just basic editing. So we are using Photoshop to edit. So when you open your Photoshop, this is what you're going to be seeing. This is the interface you're going to be seeing, and this is the picture we're going to be using to edit. We're using this particular picture to edit. First things first, first thing you need to know, this is how the interface of Photoshop looks like on your own. If you want to learn Photoshop, you can check the different tools. We have different tools in Photoshop. You have the crop tool, you have the movement tool, lasso tool, everything, different tools are there. But I'll just be teaching you, we're going to be looking at the basic tools that are going to be needing for picture editing. Now, first of all, go to this place, your filter. When you click on this, your filter, you come to your camera raw filter. Under your camera raw filter, click on it, then just wait. Exactly. So now you can see in this place now, you start taking us to the part we are going to use. This is where we're going to be doing most of the editing, the basic editing. This is where most editing takes place. So if you look at this place now, you have your temperature. This place is how you control your temperature. You want to make it one warm or more cold. You can see as I'm moving it, it's affecting the picture. Let's just put it back in 0. Let's put it back in 0. You can your tint, if you want to tint the picture, if any color you put there, tint it and add to it. So that's what the tint is used for. Then your exposure. Let's say for example, maybe while you were shooting, there was no enough exposure while you were shooting. You can increase the exposure. You can say make it more bright, make it more dark. Either ways to your taste. So that's what the exposure bar is for. Your contrast. Your contrast is how deep you want your colors to look. If you want them very looking very deep, like they look very sharp, or you want them looking very dull. You understand? That is why you see most different cameras have their different color outputs. So for example, if you're shooting with a Nikon camera, the color outputs are very sharp and bright. For example, I shot this with a Nikon camera. If you take a picture with like a Sony, you get something flat like this. The color output are always very flat like this. So depending on the camera you're using will determine the way your color output will come out. So contrast is just for how much you want the colors to maybe very strong popping or very flat. Then your highlights, of course, what the name signifies what it is used for. Is for controlling the highlight in your picture. So you want to increase the highlight, you want to reduce the highlight. That's what your highlights this thing is used for. And your shadows, the shadows is for controlling the shadows. If you have a lot of shadows in your picture and you want to remove some of the shadows, you can increase it. You can see it's removing the shadows. If you want more shadows in your picture, you reduce it. It brings more shadows into your picture. So depending on your tastes, depending on what you want to shoot, depending on your taste, depending on how you want the picture to look like, maybe you want more shadows in it or you want less shadows, that's how they will determine the amount you want to put into it. Then we have this place, white, black. This controls the white, all the white in your picture. So if you increase it, it increases all the whites in your picture. You can see. If you reduce all the whites in your picture. Then you have the black also. If you increase it, all the black in your picture, the black spot in your picture, they are increased. If you reduce it, you can see what it's doing to it. So that's what this one is all about. Then also the texture. Texture is, I would say, is more like how clear, how clear you want your picture to look. So if you want it to have more texture, you want it to look very clear, you can increase it. You can see it has more texture to it. It's very clear. You can reduce your texture. Of course, you don't want to have too many in it. And also clarity is almost the same thing. Also, you want it to be more clear. This is too much. but just depends on whatever you want to determine the amount you want to put into it. Then you have your DAs. DAs is more like your all round, if you want all your picture, the whole color to pop at the same time. So take for example, you can see the way the colors are looking like. Now if I increase the DAs, you can see all the color pops at the same time. You can reduce DAs also, so just like that. Then you move to your vibrance. Vibrance is for increasing, it's more like saturation also, but you know, it pops your color. You can see how the color are popping. You can see how it looks. If you reduce its vibrance, it's not bright. Then also if you come to your saturation is for your color, to make your color pop also. These are for colors, making your color pop. Then if you come under this place, something like curve. This one is for more advanced editing. So, but for now, just stick to the basics. Come under your details. Under details here, you see if you want to sharpen it, if you want to reduce your noise. If there's a lot, maybe you took a picture and you have a lot of noise in it, you can do noise reduction here, reduce the noise in your picture. Also, if you come down to color mixer, now under the color mixer is where you can get very, very creative, where you can play with your colors. So let's take for example now, each colors have their own slides. So if I want to play with just a particular color alone, let's say for example I want to play with green, I want to change just the colors of green alone. I come under the green, you can see we have the hue, we have saturation, we have luminance, and we have all. Now if you want to change each of them, for example, let's say you don't like how the saturation of the, maybe green is not popping very well, you can come under the saturation of green and increase the saturation. Can you see? If I reduce the saturation of the green, you can see that it went down. If I increase it, it comes up. Just it's only affecting just the green alone. It's not affecting any other color. So if I come to the blue, let's click for blue now. If I increase blue, you can see the blue now are popping because I've increased it. If I reduce the blue, it will go down. Same way. Let's take for red. If I increase for red also, you can see the clothes. The clothes is popping more, just the cloth alone. If I reduce it, the color of the cloth alone will go down. So this is where you can get very creative with your color. It's more like your color grading space for your picture. How you want your colors to come out your picture, this is where you can do it under the color mix. You can mix your color. Let's say for example you don't want the colors of the grass to be green, you want it to have this, this gray look. You can reduce the saturation. You can see the color now, it looks the greens are not pop. You can use the colors, and if you want it maybe you are the kind of person that like it to be popping, you can increase it and all your greens will come out. So under your color mixer, this is where you can get very, very creative and do a lot of things. You have control over different colors. A particular color, you can choose a particular color and change the way you want it to look under this place. Then now we have where we do color grading. Is more advanced. It's not for beginners, but the more you learn, you know how to use this part of Photoshop. Then most especially you come to effects where you see your green. For example, if you are the kind of person that love adding greens to your picture, some people like adding greens to their picture. Greens, let me increase this so you can see this. Let me put it like this. Yes, so you can see it better. So let's say for example now you increase the green. You can see the more I increase it, you will see some greens on the pictures. So people like having greens on their picture. It's just some photographer style. They just love to see greens on their picture. Why some people don't like it, and some people like their pictures looking very clear. Now vignetting. So let me reduce this back so you can see what this does. It has like a dark, either you want a dark or a white what will I put to it? What will I call it? Edge around your picture. So for example, if you take it backward, you can see what it is. It is creating dark edges around your picture. This is used most especially if you want your picture to stand out. For example, you want to show like make a focus point. So you can use this vignetting to show a focus point. If you add it to it, you can see that our picture is now standing out. you are focusing more on the subject, rather than if you just take it to look like this. You put it like this, everything is just in focus, you can see. But when you add this vignetting to it, these black edges around it, it gives this focus, like, okay, I want you to focus on this particular place in the picture. That's what this vignetting is used for. Either you make it the edges black, or you make the edges very white like this. Either way, it's up to you to, you know, choose the vibe you are going for. So let's return this back to this place. Then and before we continue, I want to let you know that across different software, regardless of the software you are using, you are either using, if you are either using, you know, Photoshop, you are using Lightroom, if you are the one editing on phone, you are using Snapseed, you are using there's Lightroom mobile also on phone. All these slides work the same way across all softwares. So even if you go to your Lightroom, what the temperature does on your picture on Lightroom is simply what it does in Photoshop. It's simply what it does in Snapseed on your phone. Across all software is the same thing. So just because you learned photo editing on Photoshop does not mean you cannot edit on Lightroom. It's all the same. The slider does the same. They have the same effect on the pictures. So the only difference between different software is just their interface. So if you are someone that you are used to editing with Photoshop, if you switch to using Lightroom, the only thing you need to get used to is just the interface. Where to find this, where to find that. It doesn't mean that you need to start learning over again that, oh, because you are editing with Photoshop before, now you want to start using Lightroom. It doesn't mean you need to go and now relearn photo editing. No. What you know is what you know. Is the same thing across all editing software. It's just for you to get used to the interface, and you're good to go. So all the old tabs, the temperature, the tint, exposure, contrast, highlight, shadow, white, black, and every other thing, they work the same across every software. So now that I've explained everything, let us edit this picture together. Let me just take this to this thing. So let's take, for example, I'm coming. Let me align this very well. So let's edit this picture together so you can see the practical aspect of it. So first things first, most of the time, right now, I'm okay with the temperature. The picture is looking very, very nice. So first thing, the exposure is also okay to me. The exposure is okay to me. Sometimes I feel like the contrast to me looks too much, so I'll just reduce the contrast a little bit. I want the pictures to look a little bit flat, so I reduce the contrast of the picture. Then I want more highlights. I want to reduce the highlights so that I can have more details, because now you can see I shot the picture in the afternoon when the sun was very bright, so no details of the sky is showing. So no details. So let me just reduce the highlight a little bit. Just let's put it around something around 55, just to reduce a little bit so that it can the sky aspect can come down a little bit. Now let's increase the shadows, because I feel like we need to increase the shadows a little bit so that we can have more. So increase the shadows. Let's just put it around, I think this is fine, 40. You can increase the texture a little bit so that we can have more detail. Just increase it, put it around 5. Yeah, that's fine. Then the DAs, yes, I want the colors to pop. Let's increase the DAs. Let's put it around, let's say 22. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Then I want the picture to pop, vibrance. Let's increase the vibrance a little bit. Yes, let's keep it around, let's say 30. I prefer using, most of the time in my picture, I prefer using, vibrance rather than saturation. Saturation depends on your taste though, but I prefer using the vibrance rather than saturation, because it affects everything all together. I don't really like the output. So I just leave the picture. I just rather use the vibrance. So just keep this at 30. Then now when it's under the color mixer, that you get very creative. So now most of the time I don't really like a lot of greens in my picture, so I'll reduce the saturation of the green. I'll reduce the saturation. I want the skin to pop, so that's under, your skin is going to be under orange, so we'll increase the saturation of orange so that it will affect the skin. You see when I start increasing the saturation of the orange, you see that the skin start popping. You can see if I reduce it, look at, then if I start increasing it, so I want the skin to pop. Let's just keep it around 25. So this is nice. This is looking nice. 3 more minutes. This is looking nice. Then what again? The blue. Let's say we just increase the blue. I want the blue to pop a little bit. Now let's go under the luminance. Luminance controls how bright the colors are, how bright a particular color is. So I don't want the color of green to be that bright, so I'll increase the brightness of green. I'll take it down. You can see now. So I want so that my subject can stand out. So you can see the way it looks like before. So when I reduce it, my subject stands out. So with this, it's looking nice already. This is looking nice already. Then just click on OK. You can see this is how our picture looks like before. This is the before of how our picture looks like, and this is how our picture looks now. You can see you've taken your picture from just looking very basic like this. Look at everything, and now this is how it looks like. Now to further make your picture look better, now the power of cropping is very, very important. Cropping your picture is very, very important. Now let's crop the picture because you want the picture to look better. So let's crop the picture. For most social media on Instagram, 4:5 is the accepted ratio. Let us crop it 4:5. This is it, 4:5. I want the picture to be very bold, so I want the picture to stand. So I'll crop it for the picture to stand out like this. Put the subject at the center, and fine, this is it. So just take a look at this. Look at the power of cropping. Before, after. Look at how it looks like when we've not cropped it, and look at how it looks like now that we have cropped it. It looks far, far better. So this is just basic photo editing. This is not retouching. So in our next class, we're going to be talking about and looking at how to retouch your pictures and make your pictures look better. See you in the next class.